All right, we are live. Hello, hello, good people. Welcome,
Well,
welcome, welcome. Hey, y'all. Hey, come on in the room.
come on in the room. You got
Yeah.
to go old school church. Come
Exactly.
on,
I wish I could sing. I would sing a little bit of it.
come on in the room.
Come on in the room.
Jesus is my doctor.
Yes, he is. And he writes all my scriptions. Yes, he does.
Yeah. Don't get started on this live, going old school on these people.
Exactly.
Somebody may shout and faint. We can't catch them because we not at the house. We can't
You
call the
know,
usher. Can't
exactly.
do all of that.
We call the
We don't have
police,
no,
you know.
yeah, we don't have no smelling sauce. Sorry, you know.
Exactly. Nothing we can do.
And
But
I
come
can't
on.
I can't do nothing for you, man. That's what Flavor Flav say.
Exactly.
911's
Exactly.
a joke.
911 is a joke. So welcome, 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 y'all, to another episode of Relationship Talks. I am your host, Siobhan Carter, the You Relationship Coach. And what that means is I am passionate about all things concerning relationships, especially the relationship that you have with yourself. And tonight, I have the distinct pleasure and honor to be joined by two fine gentlemen tonight, and we're going to be talking about chivalry, y'all. So
Man,
before we get into this discussion, I just want to know if you are in here, say hello. Let us know that you're there, where you're watching from, so that we can know who we're talking to tonight. And if
what
you're
up?
watching the replay, thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. We do.
Yeah, but let us know you're here because this we want this to be an interactive discussion tonight. We don't want to just be talking with each other. We want to hear from you. So if you have questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the chat. Hey Patrice girl. Hey girl. So my good girlfriend Patrice is here.
What
Hello.
up, Patrice?
Yeah.
My co-host.
Your co-host, yes.
What up? How you doing? I can't see you. But hey,
She's there. We shall this. Yes, yes. Hey Tracy.
I talk to a lot of
Right.
people.
Yeah, so we got some people coming on in. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. So I want to introduce you or allow these good brothers to introduce themselves. So Devin Bennett is here, James Williams is here. So Devin, tell the people
Yes.
a little bit about who you are.
Um. Well, first, thank you, Siobhan, for allowing us to allow me to come back on again
Mhm.
to have this conversation. We have many conversations offline, but this is this is one for the ages, right?
This is
So who
one.
I am, my name is Devin Bennett. Um, I can go through all of the pleasantries, all of the accolades, and all of that. But honestly, what is really important is that I love God, I love His people, and I want to see um, the greatness in them come out full circle and be on display and example for the world to see, so they can
Yeah.
share it, so we can share it. And that's it. That's
Okay.
it. That's
Yeah.
it.
You say that's all. That's all the
Yeah,
people need to know for right
yeah.
now.
Listen, example is key.
Yeah.
Um, and I can we could talk about accolades all day, but
Hmm.
they won't see the real, they won't hear the real, and that's what we here to give the real. So let's
Got
go.
it. Okay, all right. Well, James, Mr. Williams, introduce yourself to the people. What do you want them to know about you?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank Devin for making this even more difficult with that introduction. I would also like to thank
Yeah.
him for inviting me for this inevitable anxiety attack. All right, that I'm about to have on here. Um, uh, it's really, I mean, I'm not much. I'm just a guy living this life, you know, trying to do better tomorrow than I did today.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, nothing special, nothing extra. I'm just a guy. That's all.
So can I say something?
Yeah, because he being
Can I
real right now. Go
can I
ahead.
can I can I can I do so? Listen,
Yeah.
so me and James go way back from the Philly days when I was living in Philly for about 10 years or so. We
Mm,
met at work. We hit it off, and he is my brother today.
mhm.
Literally, um, and I don't want to get emotional, but literally when Katrina happened and I moved to Philly. I was already going to the East Coast, but I moved to Philly. My stop was in Philly.
Mhm.
Um, I left a lot of my homeboys, or I call brothers. We wasn't together.
Mhm.
God put this brother in my life,
Mm.
and we hit it off, and literally we've been family ever since.
Wow. That's
Literally.
Since day one.
Um, so this brother he's a real one,
mm,
and I don't be in the trenches with too many people, but
yeah.
if he asks me to be in the trenches with him, I know that he'll have my back.
Mm.
So yeah, that's this brother to me.
Yeah, that's good
So
stuff. I love it.
yeah,
Just a good upstanding dude. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna find out more about James
yeah,
tonight, as well as Devin. So, and so we're talking about the question: is chivalry dead? And this came about really when I was watching Patrice and Devin. They have a show, the Relationship Corner with Devin and Patrice. I'm gonna put Devin's name first, even though Patrice's name wants to go. She want her name to go first, but the Relationship Corner with Devin and Patrice. And I forgot what you all were talking about, but it was something related. We you started talking about being a gentleman and how it's tough, for good men to really find women out there, and that women always look for the bad guys and all that kind of stuff. And it just really made me think about chivalry and the importance of
mhm,
highlighting good dudes. And just, women always talk about, well, wait a minute, where are they at when they're right here? And sometimes I think women just aren't paying attention, or maybe it's just something that they're so used to one type of man that they won't give another type of man a shot. So we're going to talk about chivalry because I don't believe it's dead. And these good brothers are going to share their thoughts as
mhm.
well. So that's why we're having this conversation. So let's start out with defining what is chivalry? Like, what does it look like? What does it mean? So, Devin, let's start with you.
Oh, so you won't put me on the spot? Okay. So listen, um, so chivalry. I define chivalry,
Mhm,
and I wrote it down because I don't want to. So when
He
we
has
when
notes.
men do what we believe is that we should do for women, right?
mm, mhm,
So that is opening the door. That is when she's cold, giving her our jacket.
mm,
That is walking on the side of traffic.
mhm,
Just when they're in our company, in many regards, being a protector, right?
mm, mhm,
That's chivalry to me. Now, before I let James go, there's a difference between chivalry. There's a difference between chivalry and courting and dating. So we
Oh
can
wait,
unpack,
I was gonna say, wait, we can't get into that right now. Hold on.
we gonna unpack that some other time. Go ahead.
We gotta unpack
Yeah.
that. So, James,
Um,
what do you think?
I mean, I agree. I think chivalry is essentially the things that you do uh, for the woman that you're spending your time with to let her know that you care. So the things that he said, also, walking her to a door, if she leaves your house or whatever, always, hey, let me know when you get in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Text me.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, I mean, I think that's chivalry.
Yeah.
Noticing little things, like just little things you pick up that she don't have to like he said with the coat. Not having to wait for her to say she's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You paying attention enough to see that. Oh, do you need this? All right, like
Mm,
that.
Yeah. Or
mm,
something as simple as um ordering food if she's running late.
Mm.
Um, you know, or and so with that, I want to be clear, buying flowers is not chivalry.
mm,
That's something different.
Mm.
mhm.
That's something different. So
Okay.
just
Okay. So it's those acts that you do to make a woman feel protected, that you're paying attention to her, those kind of things. Where would you say that comes from? Did you learn that from older gentlemen in your life? Like, where did you learn how to be chivalrous? James, let's start with you.
My dad, my older brother, and my uncles, and I it didn't even really take for my mom to have to jump in. It's just the way my dad treated my mom. So you know, the way my uncles treated their wives. Where my brother would treat, his girlfriends or whatever, when they're out, because then you would be with them and then you would see the way that they were acting, the things that they would do. Okay, that's how you behave. If you're on a nice date, you see your dad when your mom gets up to go to the bathroom, he stands up,
Hmm.
and sits back down. When she comes back to the table, he gets up, gets a chair, sit back down, like that. You just kind of pick up on it. So
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I've never heard of that before, where the man stands up when the woman is, leaving to go to the bathroom or something. That's new. I
Yeah.
didn't know
I
that.
only
Especially when
do
you
it on the fancy date. Only,
Okay.
I only do
date.
that on the fancy date. Him,
So
that's
I try
like
to do it all
every
the
day.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What'd you say, Devin?
No, I say I try to do that all the time.
See,
Definitely, no, definitely from family, household. It's a learned behavior, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Um, One of the things that I say all the time, our example, their lives, and I tell
Mhm.
parents that all the time when I'm speaking with parents and um, counseling, mentoring parents.
Yeah.
So it is a learned behavior, but
Uh-huh.
also it's also a choice.
Mm.
See, while we can learn and grow and see that,
Hmm.
at some point we are um, we are enlightened and illuminated and understand that we have a choice for ourselves to choose to do it or not to do it. And I
Got you.
think that's a personal choice.
Got you. So Taylor says, "Hey, father, is whose daughter? Taylor.
Oh, that's my daughter.
That's your daughter. Okay. Hi,
Yes.
Taylor.
So Taylor is my oldest. She's not my biological, but she is my daughter.
Who's your daughter?
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
we've been rolling since she was a baby, since I was 15. Me and her mom were really good friends, best
Nice.
of friends, and that is mine. She's my firstborn.
Yeah.
Love her to death.
Yeah.
And guess the interesting part about it, we were born on the same day.
Wow.
So just think about
That's solidified
the headaches her mom gets from
it.
dealing with two of us
With you and her,
who
Lord
are like, yeah, like
bless
two of
her.
us who are like,
God
yes,
bless her. But I want to touch
yes,
on something that you said, Devin. You said it at some point you have a choice, because I was going to ask that question. It sounds like you both
mm,
had examples, right, of men who showed chivalrous behavior in your life.
yes,
But what about those men that don't have that, maybe grew up with a single mother or didn't have those role models with brothers or uncles to show them how to treat a woman? Maybe they saw the opposite
yeah.
of what you all saw. So do you think that a man who did not have that example can still show chivalrous acts? So, Devin, you said it's a choice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I believe that it is possible,
Mhm.
um, but it takes a lot of work to
mm-hmm.
sift through the stuff that was been imputed and embedded in them for years. What they have been taught. It comes with acknowledging and consciousness of saying that what I've been seeing all my life is the wrong way, or is
Mhm.
not the best way, and that comes from learning, opening your, just growing, experiencing things, um, learning about seeing stuff maybe on TV, or maybe when someone gets in a new setting that they see a different lifestyle. That's one of the good things about school that people don't talk about, college and or going away and stuff like that. You start to get to see a melting pot on how other people live, and sometimes that helps you grow and build the foundation of your character and your example. But is it possible? Yes. I have this conversation all the time. This is one of the things that I um, am wholeheartedly passionate about, is making sure that as men, our example is, for lack of a better word, 100. I am not perfect. I fall short. You probably have some who say, man, listen, Devin wasn't through with me. Patrice probably said it too at one point in time. But at the end of the day, I am working to get it um, to a place where it is pleasing and honoring to God
Yeah,
and to
got
my family.
gotcha. Yep. So, James, what about you? Do you think it's a learned behavior that if a man doesn't have that as an example, that he can learn how to be chivalrous?
Yeah, but as you said, it's going to take work because you have to see examples. You have to. Um, if someone doesn't come along and show you and tell you that this isn't how it's supposed to go, it's your own. It's up to you for you to see it and realize, like, okay, I do this, they do this, these guys do that. That seems like a better way.
Yeah.
The person that I'm with, maybe she deserves that. Maybe the reaction that I'm getting over here is because of how I'm behaving. Not just her, maybe some of it's me. Maybe if I behave like this, I'll get a different uh, outcome or whatever. But it is difficult to learn anything that um, is not common to you in your household or immediately right outside your door. Right,
Yeah.
so like a lot of guys in my neighborhood had my dad. So my dad was like the dad.
Nice for the neighborhood.
Yeah, he was like the dad. So like it'd be me and like 6, 7 of my friends or whatever, and he wouldn't just come up and check on me. He come up and check on us. Are y'all good? Do y'all need something? All right, here, James. Here's a few bucks to get something. Y'all hungry? All right, here, go do this, go do that. Like he was everybody's dad or whatever. So
That's beautiful. That's shout out to your dad for being that type of man to not only seeing that you needed that and your brother, but also other young men in the neighborhood because I'm sure they remember that.
right.
Men like that stick with men. And just to let them know that man that's a good dude.
Siobhan, can I add something?
Uh huh.
As he was talking, there's another side of that too. So when men who haven't seen it, there are women as well. So
I was
when
about
they,
to ask that question.
when they come together, they're perpetuating a cycle
Yeah.
of the wrong example or the example that is really not is a negative example for their situation. So they're where they're seeing something different. They're both are dealing with this example that is not it's creating chaos or it's not conducive for each other. So they stay in something, and then 9 times out of 10 they go into another relationship that harvests the same type of cycle. So at some point, spiritually, internally, it has to be this is not the way to go. I don't feel great about this. This don't seem like how some other people that I may know is doing this. Let me choose to see if I can do something different.
And
Um,
I'm glad you brought that up, Devin, because I was gonna ask that question because I'm one of the women who wasn't raised seeing chivalrous acts.
mm,
So I was just used to just regular stuff. And so it wasn't
yeah,
until I started to see it, and this is like when I'm in my 20s by this point, when I
mhm,
really started to see one of my good friends, her husband would open the door for her, let her get out, and just I would see certain things that he would do. And I'm like, man, that is so beautiful that he would do that for her. And
yeah,
it just really made me start to pay attention to
mhm,
that. And I remember I dated this guy and he would get mad if I opened the door, for
yeah,
myself because it's like, look, I'm trying to teach you something. And I was like, my bad. Like, be patient with me because I'm not used to that type of behavior. So tell me about your experience or just your thoughts about a woman who is not used to that. Do you feel like it's your, I won't say responsibility, but do you have patience or do you think men who are chivalrous should have patience to teach women who aren't used to that? So James, let's start with you and then we'll get on hear your thoughts, Devin.
Um, I don't I don't think it's my duty to teach her.
Yep.
It's just I am who I am and I do what I do, and hopefully you take something from it or whatever.
Mhm.
Off completely off the subject. The problem I end up having with that is
Uh-huh.
that if I'm in a casual situation and I behave in that manner, they misconstrue it for something else altogether because they're not
that's what
used to
we
be
got to.
treated in that
Yeah,
way.
that's what
So
I
I,
got.
so I keep finding myself like, and like, oh well, you did this and that. No, 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 no. I didn't do anything. I
Yeah.
did not lead
Yeah.
you on to anything. The words that came out of my mouth was simple and basic. I told you exactly what my intentions was, and you
Uh-huh.
said that's what you wanted. I
Yeah.
treat people this way,
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just how I
Yeah.
treat people.
Yeah.
It's not my
Yeah.
fault that you haven't been
Yeah.
treated well, or you
Yeah.
not even well. You've been treated
Yeah.
badly
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
for because, like I said, I'm not as much of a gentleman as Devin or whatever,
Okay.
right? So if what I do uh has you all like, oh my God, then you've been treated bad, and I shouldn't have to.
Not
I
my
shouldn't
fault.
have to suffer because you got treated
It,
bad.
it ain't my fault.
It ain't my
I
fault.
think
It's not on me.
I think that's such a key point before you chime in, Devin. I think that's such a key point. When you haven't been used to being treated well or
Mm.
chivalrous, haven't had a chivalrous man in your life, you see little gestures and, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then I want him to be my husband, So
Yeah.
it's like, wait, whoa, wait, time out.
There's a break in this
This
part. You should use
this is this is who I am.
Right. Wow, that's so good. So, Devin, what are your thoughts?
Listen, that's the story of my life. I don't think you understand.
I mean, you be doing too much.
I know I be doing too much. I was told I be doing too much, but again, I'm I'm doing me. Um I want to create an experience
Mm,
that I can enjoy, and hopefully she will enjoy as well. That don't mean that we about to get married tomorrow. That doesn't mean that we are about to start this relationship or be exclusive
mm,
in the moment. What I am saying to you is that I think fondly of you
mm,
because I first of all I love women. That's
mm.
one. I love my sisters. That's number two.
Yeah.
And something that my parents taught me is treat people how you want to be treated,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And listen, none of us get it all the way right all the time. I have my faults, but at the end of the day, if you are in my care, in my company, I want to make sure that you're having just as a great of a time as I am, and that should be expected. And
Mhm.
if it's not expected, sister, y'all dealing with the wrong people, straight
Yeah.
up.
And I
Um,
wanna,
that's it.
oh yeah, and I
So,
wanna
honestly, I have had people who try to negotiate when I open their door, or you don't have to do that. I can open my own door. Or I'm independent, and all this other stuff. I'm like, listen, sit back, relax for a second, for a moment.
yeah.
Let me do me. Let me be a man in the way that I understand it. Not nothing against you, but maybe you haven't had this happen, and maybe may make you feel a little different when it's done for you, so
Yeah.
you can allow yourself to receive something that you never received and be blessed. That's
Yeah,
all.
and that's a good point that you bring up. I want to read something that Reggie said. He says, "I grew up in a house full of women, so opening the doors and taking out the trash or pumping the gas is just normal. Being a gentleman is just normal behavior for him.
Yeah.
And Taylor said, "You do be doing too much." She just wanted you to know that. And Patrice said, "You do too much too." But like you brothers are saying, and like Reggie has said, this is just normal behavior. You grew up and just it's just a part of who you are, what you saw,
Yeah.
how you grew up, how you were raised. It's just a natural part of being yourself. So yeah.
Yeah.
But something that you just talked about was independent women, right? So I believe, yes, many of us have been taught, especially for me growing up, my mother, my grandmother, just very independent women, and so they instilled those values in me. And I think that when we're not used to having a man in our lives to help us and to be in that healthy relationship where it can be a partnership and help carry the load, then you do kind of have this thought process, this idea that I have to do it all by myself. So is it a turnoff, to you, for you guys, when you encounter women who are just like so independent, I got it, I don't need a man? Is that a turnoff for you? So James, I see you shaking your head.
Nope. Because
Okay.
you're a grown ass woman. Like you grown. Like I'm like and I'm your man, not your father. So I mean, like you're like if that's who you are,
Mhm.
that's fine. The only problem when I have with that is I had a girlfriend who had a horrible dad.
Mm.
So anything anything that I did or said, because okay, as a person, I feel that anybody can get checked. I can get
Yeah.
checked. Checking is, hey, you're doing something that I feel it shouldn't do involving me. I'm gonna need you to stop doing that. But anything that you say is constant pushback because it was coming from a guy, and it's like I'm not trying to control you. I'm not trying to be a father, whatever. I'm just saying, hey, don't do that. Hey, this is about to happen. Maybe we should chill. Hey, how about we go over here, go over there? Like to that extent, where it's just like how certain guys are. You can't tell me like, hey, let's just calm. Everybody just calm down, take a breather. But like just her independent and her being self sufficient and I can do this myself. Cool, because I feel the same way. I mean, is anybody can get a little bit of help. We can be a team, but her having her own mind and wanting to do her own thing on her own time, I have no problem with that at all whatsoever.
Dave. So I'm laughing because I'm like, get stop talking about me. I know you're not talking about me, but that is my issue that I am working diligently. I'm trying, but you're right. When you don't have that father figure in your life, you get this defense around you. And so when a man
Right.
is just trying to be helpful, he's trying to share things like, hey, you should do it like this. I automatically get an attitude. I'm
Yeah.
working on
Right.
it. I really am. I really am. But yeah, so you're talking about me.
And to add to that, so repeat that question because I want to hear that again. What was the question?
We're talking about independent woman. Is it a turn off when a woman is just
Yeah.
so independent that she doesn't want you to be a chivalrous man? It's like, I got it, I can do it.
Yeah. So one thing that I want to add to to end of what James said, what I've noticed, especially when women don't have a man in the home, they don't know how to handle our voice and our tone.
Yes.
So a lot
Yes.
of times they're assuming that this is an angry tone or this some stern tone. This is a
The
man's tone.
chastising.
Yeah.
Yeah, some chastised. Nah, sis,
Yeah.
this ain't no chest. Listen, this is just me being a man.
Yeah.
I just need you to hear the voice
hmm
so you can understand the voice so we can move forward.
Yeah.
Is it a turn off? Um, it depends. It depends on where we are in our, this new term situationship, right?
Yeah.
So
Love those
because
dynamics.
again, I'm at the point now in my life where I can assess it from the door.
Mhm.
Okay, so we just friends. This is not something that I'm worrying about. But if we're talking about gradually going to another level, then I need to understand. And I think we talked about this before that I can have your ear, like you can hear me, that you can understand where I'm coming from. And it's not to say that you can't be independent and you can't be your own woman. What
Mhm.
I'm saying is at some point for me, I am recognizing this is what I believe. I believe, and we talk, and I'm saying independent, I'm going to attach submission to that.
Mhm.
Um, if you can't submit to God, you ain't gonna be able to submit to me.
Mhm.
So if you can't hear from God, you ain't gonna be able to hear from me because that's the source. So you can say what all you want, but if when we have a conversation, I see you moving in a certain way and it becomes uh defensive all the time,
Mhm.
then I understand where we are. And
Yeah.
then maybe we need to have a deeper conversation, or we can, you can exit stage left right
Yeah.
there.
I'm
So
it's and I appreciate you all saying this, especially what you just said about it, really about the tone, and a woman can misinterpret the tone
yeah,
of your voice and just think you're being angry or you're trying to control or you're doing this and that, when really you're just being yourself, you're being a man, and you're just trying to share your viewpoints. So I appreciate that, because it can come off when you don't have that example. You create it in your mind of what it should be. You take all of these movies and other images of people's relationships and you think, oh, it's supposed to be this way, and then you get into something and it's just like, oh, well, you're speaking like this, so this must mean that you're, being rude, or you're trying to control me, when it's not that. It's just like, hey, I'm trying to hold you accountable for something. Hey, that's not cool what you
Mhm.
just did, and I really want to bring that to your attention.
Mhm.
and if we're telling you this, we care. Ladies, I don't know where you guys at, wherever you are. If we are want to have a conversation, if we, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, whenever, if we double back and say, I want to have this conversation with you, or I want to share this with you, or open to listen, that means we care about you.
Okay.
Don't think we don't.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Pardon me, these sniffles is getting me today, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, we care. That's what that means. So, be open. You have to be open to hear that too, that
Yeah.
we care, that we want to have these conversations. Or at the end of the day, God bless you again. At the end of the day, whether it's a friendship or a relationship that is forming, we want what's best for our sisters as well.
Yeah.
We just don't want, if we don't work out, we don't work out. But I don't want to leave you with nothing.
Right.
You need to take you. There need to be some type of takeaway,
Yeah.
where you are growing and I am growing, and
Yeah.
so that's where it has to be at some point. God bless you again. It has to be at some point
Bless you.
where we get to a level of understanding. If it don't work, we grown. It don't work. But
Right.
sis, we care. We want you to do better. We want what God has for you. Find Him. If it ain't me, find Him. And that
So
doesn't mean that's just not your that's your job. That's His job as well to find you.
yeah. So speaking of finding, because thank you, Patrice. But speaking of finding, it's like there are so many women that believe there are not a lot of good men out there. I think they've had some really very hurtful, painful experiences, and they've taken that to mean that no good men exist. They all cheat. And so when you hear of men of your caliber, it's just like they just turn a nose. So what do you think about women who say there are no good men out there? What are your thoughts? Why do you think that is?
Um, Bad experiences, right?
Mhm.
But I want to put the ownership on both parties. It is bad experiences, and it's not being mature enough to walk away from something that that ain't for you.
Mm,
And so a lot of times, whether it's the male or the female, we want what we want.
mhm.
And so uh we fantasize about things, the stuff on television, things on Instagram at this point. All the wrong stuff is checked off,
Yeah.
and none of the right things. So we go into a situation because, oh, we're gonna get this bag together, or we go into a situation is because they have a specific physique or they look a certain way. And don't get me wrong, we're gonna be talking about this on our show next week. Preference does preference matter? But at the same time, the reality is that there's some other things that you may want to get in order or understand about this person and see if you guys compatible before you attach yourself to the other stuff. Because guess what? The other stuff is not foundational. The other stuff won't last, and the other stuff will leave you heartbroken every time.
Yeah. So James, what are your thoughts? What do you think when women say there are no good men out there?
Um, both what he said, but also I actually found myself. I know that I'm gonna get killed for this. Um, I came here. I know I'm gonna get killed for a lot of things, so I came here for that.
Okay.
So one of the things that I've seen happen often, right, is I'll be talking to a girl and then she'll talk about her past relationships or whatever, and she has this baggage, and then I started like let's I want to hear about it. Let's talk about it. Like what do you do? Well, like what happened? And I'll start to hear stories of what he did, and then I'll be like, they'll have like 10 stories, and I'll find like 6 of them. I'm like, well, like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. There was no actual proof of what it is you said happened. You felt
Mm,
that was happening, and you you never got any definitive proof. It's like the only thing you can find is proof that it happened. There is no proof that it didn't happen. And a lot of people, when something actually bad happens to them and bad things happen to friends, then what happens is it's like a shared bad experience. So you'll have like, and this is guys too. So you have 5 friends, And when all 5 of them had one bad experience, all of them have had 5 bad experiences. And I see it happen with us all, with people all the time. And then they go forward, and then you start going into situations looking for the bad. But the thing about it is that you can only find proof of the bad. You cannot find proof that the bad didn't happen. But for a lot of people, that's not good enough. If they don't find proof that the bad didn't happen, their gut is telling them that this happened. Well, yes, sometimes your gut is telling you that, but also sometimes your trauma is telling you that it happened.
Come on, James.
And
Now, come on. James, come on.
so I find it often, and then I get attacked. It's like, listen, I, I don't have a dog in this race. I don't have any skin in this. I don't know bull. I don't know him. So the only person who I'm connected to is you. So if I'm gonna be team anybody, it's gonna be team you. And I'm listening to the story. And if you left out any information, let me know. But I'm not Matlock or Columbo. But from what I'm hearing, you found no evidence of what he's been accused of. If this was trial, he'd be acquitted. If this case would get, this case would get thrown out. And
Listen,
so
let me listen. I appreciate you coming on here telling us about ourselves. No, but you are speaking the absolute truth. I'm telling you. And Patrice just said, I'm scared to admit he's speaking the truth, because that is one of the things that we as women do a lot. Not all of us, but a lot of us do. We take one little piece of information, and because we have so many thoughts of our heads, we have other people's experiences, like you said, we have our own experiences, we have stuff that we read about, seen, and we tie all of that into a nice little box, and then we hand it to you as if you've done all of those things to us, and we make it, you become that person when all you did was didn't call it when you said you was gonna call because something came
and
up, and so now
sometimes the truth, and sometimes the truth is unbelievable. Like you'll get in situations like I'll tell you the truth and you don't even believe it. It's like, well, where was you at? Okay, so what happened was I hung out, I was with my friends. Oh, you said your friends? Yeah, just my friends. We was at the bar, we was drinking, we was laughing and making fun of people. Okay, until when? About 2. And then what you do after that? Well, I was drinking all night. I was hungry. So I went to get some chicken. And when I'm back home, now it's 3:30. So it's like, oh, so you're gonna try to you was out until 3:30 at night and you wasn't with no girls? No. Like, do you feel the headache that I'm getting right now? I want to add more to this. Like, no, I'm at my wits end with this right here. I want to add more to it.
Well, listen, by the time we talked to you, we created the whole storyline of what happened. So there's no way you can convince us because we don't wrote the whole movie.
And that truth ain't enough because it's like, well, she just want me to believe that you was out with your friends and then got some chicken. That's what you come in with. It's like, I'm gonna come in with like some elaborate Sean DeGrom storylines. Like, no, like that's what happened, but it's not enough.
And you know what? Honestly, for if that happens enough, we get exhausted and tired.
Yeah.
And we back up and walk away, or we're like, I don't got time for this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, oh, he wasn't a good man. Or he wasn't. Well, hold up, wait.
Or he didn't fight for me. That's what
he didn't fight for me.
He wasted.
Well, guess
time.
what?
Oh,
I gotta fight outside all day, every day. And this is something James said. When we come inside, we want somebody that's our peace. Yeah. We don't want to go out. We don't want to fight inside as well. Well, for what? So if I gotta fight inside and outside, I'm in the wrong house. I might as well stay out. I might as well stay outside till 5 a.m.
I was. This is crazy. I was in a relationship where I would go to work and I would come home, and I would get bummed if I saw her car parked outside of our place. I would come home from work when we worked together. I would come home and I see a car.
Here we go.
It's gonna be something. Or I'll come in. I come home and I loved her and I wanted to be around, but I would come home if I didn't see her car. But okay, I probably got like an hour to just be me and decompress and not go from this nonsense into more nonsense because I never get a chance to mentally or emotionally recharge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And who wants to deal with that? Ladies, I hope you're listening. I'm taking mental notes because these brothers are speaking some real stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that you two are being honest because as a woman, I can tell you that you're absolutely correct. And that's some things that we have to work on as women, not running with one piece of information and turning it into a whole storyline or a book and then accusing you of something that you have not even shown proof that that's what's going on. And like Monica said, she said, you're now trying to disprove her story of what happened. She's already created the story, so now you're trying to disprove it. And
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
wants to go through that? Like you said,
Right.
Devin, who wants to expend that much energy
No.
to try to convince someone that you are a good person? That's
Yes.
exhausting.
It is
That's exhausting.
And
extremely exhausting.
and the odds are against you because 9 times out of 10, women are better at arguing than we are. So then we get to this. Even if I'm right and I got all the facts, I'm outmatched. So
Yeah.
most guys are probably gonna lose that argument anyway. He's like, wait, I came in, I didn't do nothing. What? How did I get here? Like
Matter of
what
fact,
happened?
what I don't even remember what I just said.
Right.
So, but then they think that's a lie too. Then that we trying to think of something else. You're like, hold on, wait. I listen. It is so. This is too much. I don't even want to think about it. Let
Yeah.
me delete this. And then she be like, so you didn't say, you did. I'm like, hold on, wait. What did I just say? I don't even remember. And then that's added to what they assume that is going on. So then we all wrong. We lost the battle. After that,
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
we good. We dead in the
They
water.
use cop
So,
tactics. But they keep
Mm,
yeah, I
asking
don't
you the
know.
same question
yeah. Different
again
ways.
and again and
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So you saying you were over there? Okay. So where were you? All right. And then so you said you were 6th Street. Oh, so you said you was at 7th Street? No, no.
Mhm.
Did I? No, I said I was at 6th Street. Sure, you said no. I didn't. That's not. No, wait, no. I'm confused now.
yeah,
Backpedal. Help me. Like what's going on?
It's too much. And so, ladies, one of the things that I have to do is when I feel like I'm about to go in that spiral of creating a story, is stopping myself and really talking to myself in that moment. Okay, what's going on? Where is this coming from? What evidence do you have to support this, which is usually nothing? And so, what is your real issue? Right, like what is this, what's being triggered for you that probably has nothing to do with this present situation? This is something your daddy done did or something another guy did back in the day that we're still carrying. So that's the thing that we have to do, is stop ourselves in the moment because we're hearing from the brothers, this is exhausting. It's too much. And if the shoe were on the other foot, imagine if you guys were doing that. We wouldn't sit
Oh,
around and deal
oh
with
no. There's those who put their women through that. Oh,
yeah,
this is not a gender
yeah. It's
specific
only one side.
situation. Oh
that. It's
no, this
Yeah,
happens on both sides.
right, right. And so we don't want to go through that. So we have to put ourselves in their shoes and
yeah,
understand that they don't want to go through that either. So
yeah.
ooh, child. So, what advice would you give to women regarding, being connected to a chivalrous man? What advice? If she's saying, I want a man who's chivalrous, what advice would you give her?
Hmm. Um, yeah. First, I think understanding who she is, knowing her work, right? And I think that's for not just men. I mean, females, but it's males as well. Like knowing your work, knowing who you are, um, and be willing to be open to learning from the example.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that you're less than, because real men is going to um, help you understand that not only that you're equal, but we feel that you are more than.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to hold you to that regard, in that regard. And that's what we ultimately want to do, that we want you all to understand that you are our queens, and that we hold you in high regard. But we have to get there, and you have to hear our heart, and hear, also see through our example that we are trying to get to a place of comfort in order to be comfortable to show that example consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So because again, when we go through all the stuff we just talked about, we're gonna back up, and if we start to see remnants of the stuff that we just talking about, we're gonna check out.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we're going to say this woman is not worth the time for us to open ourselves up, because I believe that in some regards we are more emotional than you all. Once we make our decision, um, we gonna back up and be like, oh, I ain't about to do this, because listen, if we make that decision to be with you and then it goes south, it's going south.
Mm-hmm.
And so just be open up, just be willing to be open to a real brother, um and know that he's a real brother, to be available to hear his heart and welcome in his ability to show you some chivalry.
Gotcha. James, what about you? What advice would you give to women looking for a chivalrous man?
I do not presume to know enough about things to give people advice. Only thing that I will say to women is the same thing that I will say to men about all things involving interaction with other human beings. Have an open mind and take it as it comes, and that's it. Like,
That's it.
yeah, just have an
Yeah,
open mind, take it as it comes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. Being open is one thing, because a lot of us are walking around so guarded. Like,
Hmm.
deal with your stuff, deal with that pain, so that you don't have to live so guarded on both sides. Like,
yeah.
deal with your stuff. All right, so we got some scenarios that I want to talk about, get your thoughts on a
Oh
couple
yeah.
scenarios, because I can't believe we have gotten more than halfway through the show, but I really want to get your take on these scenarios, right? So, how
Okay.
would you answer this? So, the first one is, if you're on a first date and a woman asks you about your future marriage plans, would you consider that a red flag, or would it be okay, James?
Okay, so um, what I like to do is I understand that men and women are different. Um, so I get that we see things differently, and I can understand how women are. I want to know I want to know where his head is at. I want to know if this is going somewhere. Fine. Now,
Mhm.
throw all that out the window. That is a red flag.
Okay.
Okay. For me, period. As red as this shirt. That is nonsense. This is the first date. I don't know if I ever want to see you again. You don't know if you ever want to see me again. Why are we talking about what I feel about marriage? That is at least a third day question. Like, let's at least just figure out that we even want to see each other again, and then let's get there. Like, that's jumping the gun. It would make me nervous. It
Got it.
just happened, and it makes me nervous.
Okay. Got you, Devin. What about for you?
So I agree, but because I be doing the most, right? Because I be doing the most. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh,
Right.
Devin, give us an example of the most. What you mean?
Because I do the most.
Okay.
One date can turn into three in
Okay.
one night, right?
Got you. Okay.
So by the time we get to the third phase of this one date, we probably didn't got into these conversations. No lie.
The faces. Okay, I got you.
Listen, I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest. So it's a possibility, if
Yeah.
we are vibing like that,
Uh-huh.
that we may get to it in the third phase of the date, the
Okay.
first date.
First
But
day.
ultimately, I am with Jen. It's a red flag if we just going for coffee, whatever, and it's light. But there are some times when I had some experiences where this supposed to be date for maybe a couple of hours turns into a night or a
Wow.
day, and that interaction evolves
Yeah.
from
Okay. All right. So Devin and I had a conversation about this one. So I really want to I'm gonna start with you, Devin, on this question.
Jesus. Go ahead. I'm
A
listening.
woman, a woman loves to express herself in her appearance, through her appearance, by sometimes wearing colorful hair. She may have long nails, even a gold grill, a pull-out kind, with
Let me
just
see
anything
your
like
let me
that.
see your what? Your grill. Your
Uh,
grill. Right
if a
up the
woman is
juice.
like that, where she has colorful hair and she expresses herself in that way, could you date her seriously? Why or why not?
Yeah. There's a okay.
Okay.
I am not as I don't like to use this about people who I love or
Uh-huh.
even like. I'm not as conservative as Devin Bennett. Okay.
Okay.
I don't. I'm saying it because I don't know any other way
Yeah.
To say it.
to
Yeah,
describe it.
Yeah.
yeah, to say
But
it.
there's a limit, obviously. Like if you're walking around and you look like Lil Wayne, it's like, sis, what is all this? Like, what's up with you? Like, what are you doing? But yeah, if you got long fingernails, if you have colored hair, if you have tattoos, if it is like clothes, tattoos and hair color and nails is a way to express your personality. I absolutely have to have someone with personality. I
Okay.
get bored easily. So I don't mind that. It's just as long as like cause me, I can move in different circles and I can fit in these circles. So if you can switch it to another mode, like if
Mm-hmm.
Devin asks me to go somewhere and it's suit and tie time, can you be be my accompaniment to this? Will you fit? Will we kill him? Are we gonna kill him, or is it going? Or are you not gonna? Because I don't mind you not fitting in the room, but you should fit with me,
Got
right? You
you.
should. You can.
Yeah.
We can stick out in the room together, but you shouldn't stick out beside me.
Yeah,
So
Mm.
you know, yeah. But a person with a girl with all that, yeah, I don't have no problem with that whatsoever.
Devin, what you got?
so no, listen, I agree. I think that I am a little bit more conservative, and a lot of the I'm in a lot of rooms, and so I can adapt to many rooms, and whether it's going to the opera or the ballet or to the hood spot or to a gala, whatever it is, I believe that you have to, like James said, fit with me. I also believe in example, what that example looks like, and how does that look for my household, and for us and our children. Like I said again, our example, their lives. That will have to be a conversation that I have with the woman that I'm choosing as my wife. And
Hmm.
ultimately, what I am worrying about more than anything is our household good. I understand your appearance, and if you want to do it, do it. But are my children fed? I understand we can go, we can grill it up, we can do all this other stuff, but do I have peace in the home?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So when those things are there, and you want, you may want to throw something different on or do something different someday, I don't mind, because I'm confident that this woman who I am with is my peace, and she is phenomenal and awesome in all her ways, and I'm good if she need that for a season or a day or whenever. Long as when we in that room, that when she have to switch it up, she can switch it up with me, then we good.
So what I also hear in that, Devin, underneath is as long as her freedom of expression doesn't interfere with how she behaves in the home. Like you don't want it to be where she is so expressive and wanting to do her own thing that she's not sometimes submissive or not taking care of the home. Would you say that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and but that goes both ways. You know, um, that we're not in agreement in where we lay our heads.
Mm-hmm.
That your eccentricness is not so eccentric where it affects our livelihood or our household,
Mm-hmm.
or it doesn't um, render positive vibes for or example for our household. So with that being said, if it does, hey, I'm with it. But if it does not, then I ain't the right person for you, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just being straight up. Or
Gotcha.
and she in the right, and I'm not the right person for her, and she ain't the right person for me. So Yeah.
Gotcha. I got it. Okay. All right. So one of the things I want to do, we only have about 6 more minutes, so I gotta talk about the dating 101 cards. So these are cards that my friend and I created, and these are conversation pieces to help you spark meaningful conversations when you're on a date with your significant other or even with your friends for a game night. And so it's 101 cards with scenarios and questions that you can ask each other. And if you're in a relationship, you can try to guess to see if you know your mate's answer. That would be fun too. But Dating
Yeah.
101, I have the link in the description of this live because it is such a fun game that we created, and it's created by a man and a woman so that we can get both perspectives. And it comes in this cute little bag, Dating 101, so you can just pull them out on your date. So I want to go through some rapid fire questions. We have either or questions, we have scenarios, little lengthy ones, but these are just the either or, just to get a little bit
Mhm.
information about Devin and James. So are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
So we're gonna
Please.
start with James, and then we're gonna go. So all right, are you a cat or dog lover?
Neither.
Neither. Okay, Devin.
Dog, but don't tell my son.
Okay. Would you prefer a museum coffee date or a dinner date, James?
Museum coffee.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. When arguing, do you shut down or talk it out, James?
Shut down.
Okay.
I try to talk it out.
Do you prefer breakfast, lunch, or dinner foods?
Dinner.
Okay.
All of the above.
All of the above. All right. And do you have a height requirement when dating?
No.
I don't, but I like Tony.
Okay. So these are just some of the rapid fire questions. Now, of course, if you're on a date, you would expound on these questions a little bit more. And then we have some scenarios that will get into your mind and see what you think about certain things. But dating 101 questions to ask when dating. All right, fellas. Well, this has been such a great conversation. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for sharing the real and just
You're
bringing your
welcome.
real thoughts and making us women think. If you
Yeah.
didn't take nothing from this conversation, then that's on you. But I got a little something that I'm gonna tuck in my pocket so I can remember what these brothers are saying. So thank you for sharing. So, any last words you want to share about chivalry? Kevin?
um, I don't think it's about chivalry. It's just in general. Know your worth. Understand that your time is valuable,
Mm,
and don't allow others to project what they want for your relationship or your life. To be it, to be something that you don't want. If you don't want it, then don't agree to it. So know your worth. Understand that your time is valuable, and don't allow someone else to project what they want for you instead of you projecting or allowing God to project for you what He wants for you.
nice, love it. James, last thoughts about chivalry?
Everything he said, but what I said before, be open minded and take it as it comes, and know what's deal breakers,
Mm,
and know what your deal breakers are. Know what you'll be able to bend on, and whenever something bothers you, say something about it immediately. Don't let it fester because it's the beginning of something and you don't want to rock the boat and then let it all come out later. If something bothers you on both sides, just hey, this is how I feel about it, just so you know. That's it.
wow. That's so good. That's good. I hope y'all heard that. When something is bothering you, talk about it instead of letting it build up and then you explode when it's
Yeah,
too much.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, say something. But thank y'all, brothers. I gotta have y'all back because this was such a great conversation and it went by so fast. And I feel like I got more to ask, more things that we could talk about. So
a
we're gonna
lot.
get y'all back. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for tuning in and for your comments and for watching. And until next time, good night.
Thank you, sisters.
Thank you.